excuse me, checking back in with this SN95 of Lance Wendell's. We're back halving this car. We built a housing for it, cut all the back out, put stock suspension. Kind of, you saw the first video, just kind of catch you up, share where we're at now and kind of where we're headed this week on it. Should be wrapping it up this week. At least this part of it. We got some other things to do to the car, but hopefully all the back end will be done. But so we got the rear end in, as you can see. We got it mocked up. Dylan's working on the wishbone. We got 4-link brackets, or 4-link bars, control arms, fit and tacked in place right now. Said he's welding up the wishbone. Once we get that welded up, we're going to get it in place, tacking our mounts in, locate our shocks, put tabs in for that, our billet mounts for that, and then we'll have to put an anti-roll bar in, and then just a little bit of bracing in the car. Flip it around, I'll show you guys. Let's see. Alright. Kind of tight in here right now. Let me move to the back. So, let's see, we got the rear end in. Control arms tacked in place right now. That's not exactly where they're going to go. We're just trying to get everything located so we can make sure everything works well the way it needs to be. This is the upper wishbone mount, so the wishbone's going to be going forward in this car. Once we get it in place, and we're going to do some more gussets in this kind of open area here. It needs a little bit more triangulation done in here. Once we get that done, we got to place our shock mounts, which will just basically be in line back here, and then we'll do our anti-roll bar. So Dylan's building the wishbone mount now. He's already pulled it off the jig or the fixture. We use a little hammer fixture. You don't got to have one of those. You can, I mean, it's nice. It makes it real easy because you can set your distances, lock it down, width. It actually works really well. But I mean, I've built many before without that. So he's welding up the wishbone now. Let's see where he's at. But yeah, she's coming together. After all this goes in, we'll be doing carbon next. Carbon tubs. We got to do a little sheet metal work in the bulkhead area. Once we get all that done, she will start to come together pretty quick. Carbon panels. I will try to update you guys a little bit more as we go on this, as we kind of do some of the carbon work, building templates and whatnot. Alright, so we got most all of our suspension in place and welded out. Let's see, so we got, alright, so here's our wishbone. So it ties to the top, got billet mounts on the front. Still got to do, we're going to do a little bit more bracing in here now that we got everything in place. We got our anti-roll bar in. Gonna go straight down from here. Hits these tabs. He's working on the end links now. Let's see what else we got. Got our faux shocks in place right now. There's some billet tabs for that. Those in place. That's pretty much it on the suspension. Still got to weld up the control arms. I kind of like to wait till the end to get the thing. Get it down on actual tires on the ground just to double check that, but make sure everything fits the way I want it to, and then go ahead and weld those out. I've had them come up short or long, kind of weird just depending on how stuff lays out, but she is almost back calfed. We'll pull all the suspension out here shortly, or at least the housing out of the way, and then we're going to start doing the tubs next. Yeah, we had to tie the back of the car to the cage, just a little tab and some 3/4 tubing just to hold all that in place. But it is almost time to start the carbon fiber. Alright, the carbon templates have begun. Well, the tubs. So basically, let's go around here. That's one of our tubs. Here's the other ones. These are McAmis 34-inch tubs. So what we do is we make a template. We just basically lay this cardboard on the side of the tub to get our actual size, and then we get it in here centered. You see how we got dimensions. We end up we shoot a laser level across our center all the way across, so we can mark both sides on the chassis side, so we can have a reference line to line this up to make sure we're in the right place front to back. And we've used this one a bunch. I mean, this is our small tire carbon tub template, and then these get redone. We just take these on. But so basically what we do is, you see how we got these marks on here. We have these laid out all the way around. I don't know what that is, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So then once we get this in place, then we come inside the wheel well. You can see this thing's pretty wide. And we just measure over, and we start at the bottom or wherever we start at. This one's going to get cut off because actually it's going to get cut off at the bottom of the round tubing. So a lot of this is going to be gone once we fit it. But yeah, so we just measure over, make our notes, measure over. Without this is not in there. You're just measuring over from the marks on this inner panel, and we just write our dimensions down as we go. Then we make this wraparound piece and we lay it out in accordance to this. Just roll it in there, get our dimensions down, and basically you end up playing connect the dots. I mean, they end up being crazy uneven, so this won't be here. We'll be cutting right above that. Just to give you an idea how this goes, we're about to pull this one out. It's fit pretty well. It's really hard to see. This is the small tire tub. It's the 34-inch, but it's still pretty big and it's pretty wide. But yeah, I'm about to pull this one out, and we will basically take this and lay it on top of that tub, make a mark, and then cut a little big, and then come back over here and fit. Checking back in on the SN95. We're back calfing. We were fitting tubs the last time. We got a good bit of carbon work done now, so I figured I'd show you guys around a little bit, show you where we're at. We still got a little bit more work to do back here, but tubs are mostly fit. We got to do a little bit more trimming here once we take them back out. We got to trim out for the NRO bar bolts, which I'll show you. I'll get inside there, but getting there though. Tubs fit awesome. Look how tight that is to the quarter. It takes a lot of time to get those to fit tight like this. It's pretty tricky, but just gotta build a good template and trust it. But yeah, let's see. We tin the sheet metal, or the bulkheads in with sheet metal back here. Tubs are in. Like I said, yeah, you can see, like I said, we gotta trim out the on the outside. We'll make bolt holes for this to pass through, so that this is able to come in and out still. Get the NRO wide if I ever needed to, without having to remove the tubs, because it'll get riveted down through here, but we'll end up panel bonding. That's why it's key to get this fitment so tight. It's because we're going to panel bond it on top and bottom to hold that in there. But yeah, it's coming along. I'll drop it down in a minute to show you the top side view, kind of what we got going, what it looks like from the top. This is the wishbone tab. So we made this panel pretty easily removable, just so if you do need to get to it, you can zip that off and get to the top of bolts or the nuts. Pretty easy. We got to modify the tunnel on this. That's why we hadn't done anything in the center yet. Because this car's going to sit a lot lower now, we've got to modify. It's just not tall enough. The drive shaft will end up hitting this. So we're going to, it's got stock floor pan in this thing completely. And I think we are going to do some double frame rail stuff to it. We got to place the engine in this thing next week. I think it's going to show up tomorrow. So we got to place that, but it's already had an LS in it, but now it's got a lower ride height. We just want to make sure everything's kind of in the way we want it to be, just so everything can work the best way possible. So we're going to end up cutting top of that out. We'll sheet metal. We'll do our double frame rail, and we'll kind of use that double frame rail to tie our sheet metal back in and close this off as needed. This is still the original number 1 bar, and these are the original number 15, and these are original down bars. Besides this one, like I said on one of the videos, these 2 bars weren't symmetrical in the car side to side, so we chose to cut this one out and move it over to match that one. So that worked out. Got those in the same place now. Yeah, it's coming along. Let's see. But yeah, like I said, so between this these two bars here, this is the number 15. We had to add this bar to get our 4-link the right width. We ended up sheet metaling right here on top, and we use that to put Zeus fasteners in. So this panel's got 4 Zeuses, 2 on the front and then 2 on the sides there. And we got a slip, a receiver right here that it slides, so you slide it in and then you can Zeus it down pretty quick. Makes it a little easier to do. I like doing those as much as we can. I like doing minimal amount of, it's not minimal work, it's just trying to make stuff smarter where you don't have 500 billion fasteners when you don't really need them. Same thing here, we did a slip joint on this top of this TP here. So it slides in and then you just got your row of fasteners and a few on the sides there. There's no point in that one really coming out, that's why it'll be fastened in. And then, let's see. So really left the carbon wise is we gotta just finish the rear aero package, which is going to be closing, you know, from the tub to the back bumper, and then from the back of the cage here to the back bumper end. That's really the last things we're gonna probably do some framework with some 3/8 and 1/2-inch tubing to make all that work, to where it'll kind of stay on the car, and if you needed to take the bumper off, the rear bumper off, you could get it off pretty easy. But yeah, she is coming along. It's almost done. We're gonna mark everything so we can trim that, and then we're gonna, once we get these last couple panels fitted, we're gonna blow this thing apart, put a little bit of paint on all this stuff, and let it dry, and then we'll put it back together. Let me let it down, and I'll show you how she looks from the top side. All right, top side, got the parachute remounted, got it all tied back in. We just tried to remount it the same way. Obviously, we had to add the new receiver on the cage back here, but we were able to make all that work. Got that in. You can pull that back off, get it out of the way. I'm trying to just see. Got the carbon in the back on the bottom because we're going to mount a few things. We got to put a puke tank back here. We already have a hole, so we'll probably. It used to be offset. Obviously, it didn't have bars like this in the back. It was stock frame rail car with just a few down bars. I'm going to reuse their puke tank if I can, and we'll rework the tube to make it go out the same hole. That way they don't have multiple holes in this thing, but you can kind of see it's starting to look good. This has still got the plastic on it. Once we go back in with it, we'll have to take all that off, and we'll show you then. It'll look pretty good. All that'll be pretty slick looking, so you can see our main big holes left to do on the sides, and then it should be closed in. Let's go up here, look in the. Well, there's how we yanked all the housing and everything out of the car just to make it easier to work on. The housing, 4-link bars. We still got to finish welding the 4-link bars, the control arms, and then we'll get those powder coated as well. The control arms and the wishbone. Let's see. Let's step inside. Got a little bit of wiring mess right now. That's on Austin. He's got to rewire this thing, I'm pretty sure. So I need to talk to him about that, see if he wants me to snatch all this out. But yeah, there you go. You can kind of see. Got that old rear seat delete. This thing's a dang street car. Look at it. But yeah, like I said, we got just a couple Zeuses, or 4 Zeuses, a couple on each side. So that panel right there comes out pretty easy. Oop. And then you can see that's the little receiver groove I was talking about right there. So that it's just basically almost a hem piece, just not smashed all the way down. So it carbon slides in that. Same thing for that top one. I can't reach it. But she is coming quite along. So we're going to snatch the rest of this stuff out. We'll wrap this up. We'll have this wrapped up tomorrow. Snatch the rest of this stuff out. The engine should be here tomorrow. Try to get an idea on placement for that. And get some double frame rails in there. Try to stiffen this thing up a little bit. I will check back in as soon as we get a little bit more done. Alright. Got a little bit more done on the rear carbon work of this car. Basically, well, I think the last little clip I showed you, we had pretty much the tubs and all the front stuff relatively fit, and the last little bit was closing off the back. Which this is stock bumper, so these things are flimsy as crap. They're not bad because we have it mounted. I'll kind of show you that, but you can see here. There you go. We still got to do a little mount in the back here, but let's see. So the idea is to get the air out of these cars. I'm trying to back up as much as I can so I can show you. Let me turn this light on. It'll help any. But yeah, so basically we got it. You got your tub, and then we're going to slope it off. We'll trim all this up just a little bit more. We trimmed it up a little bit, but so we're doing this carbon to where basically we don't want to stop the back bumper from becoming a parachute and grabbing all the air getting out from under the car. So got these they fit tight to the side. There's a lot of 3/8 tubing back here. I'll actually pull one of these off so you can kind of see. But yeah, so we did some braces from the cage to, let me grab this light, to the bottom here. And so there's one going down to the bottom here, and you can kind of see we got a nutsert and a tab. It's hard to see it, but nutsert and a tab. Let me get this stuck on here. Retarded, there we go. Yeah, but that's why this is so stiff. So you literally can come under the bottom, zip this off, and then, like I said, we'll have the, from the other side, the way the factory bumper is, there's a couple of factory bolts up here, and you can actually be able to take this whole rear bumper section off without removing any of the carbon. We're not going to have any of the carbon tied to it because it kind of gets tricky on these factory car and factory bumpers tying to this plastic. Just it's flimsy, and if you do try to tie to it or fasten it to it, it pushes in when you're trying to connect a Zeus or something. And it don't really ever come off that much. But this is a way we've done in the past that works pretty well on most cars. So we're trying to incorporate all that. But like I said, you see this one panel is kind of coming all the way over there, sealed all the way across. It's actually below the rear bumper. That way the air it's passing past it. It won't catch that lip. But yeah, so it's a lot of 3/8 tubing in here. But let me zip this panel down and I'll kind of show you a little bit more. But this is actually a pretty cool trick. We still have to we got this piece cut out. It just hadn't been put up here yet. We still have to do the scallop strips for these panels to attach to. They'll be obviously down this tube, and then there'll be some on this tube. But let me zip this off real quick. I doubt you'll be able to see it as I'm doing it, but this is a little trick. I don't remember who I saw, if it was Cameron Johnson or somebody, but we use magnets when we're doing sheet metal and carbon work. Because you can just magnetize it to they're strong, and these are actually really strong. Here, these are just some cheap ones off of Amazon. This panel's in there pretty good and snug. Get that out of there. But yeah, that'll let you do it. And once you get all your carbon strips in it, you still go back in there, put magnets on it, and then you can go to the top and mark most of your holes with a silver marker, and then come back and drill them out. But yeah, so we did a tube that goes here, and so there'll be a carbon strip that goes forward to here, and there's already one on the top that's holding the tubs in. So they'll share that tube, and that tube's just going to the body, and then this tube's going down to the bottom of the fender. We just tied those together so they wouldn't be kind of going crazy and flapping in the wind. And then we made a single tube that goes all the way in the back, and it follows this. It's the same. It's just a mirror image. And then we got it tied in the middle. And then we just connected them just to add strength here. But like I said, we're going to add probably a tab here and a tab here and a tab kind of in the symmetrical spot right to the side of it. That way it'll be just 2 screws in the back, and then this won't be flapping at all either. And it'll be pretty solid. It's kind of what we call the rear air package, just to get the air out from under the car. You'll see a lot of cars that don't have anything back there, and sometimes you'll see the parachutes actually suck underneath a car after they're pulled, like especially if they're not air launchers, if they're just a pilot chute or something, they'll fall down and they'll kind of suck back, and that's what's happening. You end up with a vortex underneath the car, so you get all this air is coming out from under the floor pan, and then it's shooting up into these empty areas. And then when it hits that, it really has nowhere to go, so it's hitting this bumper, and it ends up making a swirl. And that almost makes a vacuum. Well, it does make a vacuum. There's lots of videos out there. You can actually search them and find them. Because some of the Pro Mods back then, they didn't have anything back then. They were real bad about the parachutes getting stuck underneath the car and pulling them in. But yeah, so we're almost there. We just got to put a couple strips on here, and all this will be done. And then we're going to rip it all apart, put some paint on it, get all the other parts to powder coat, and then put all the carbon back in it. And then once all our control arms and our roll bar and wishbone and all back from powder coat, we'll put it back together. We still got we got a good bit of other stuff to do. So we got a double frame rail deal. So once we get it down, we got to finish getting all the parts out of the car, the wire and shifter, all that, start cutting that out. And the guys brought us their engine the other day. Let's see. Let me turn this light back off. And it's one of those fancy LKQ specials. You know, what do they call them? $249 specials. We'll get it out and show you once. I mean, obviously we got a motor plate this thing, and you know, just old run-of-the-mill junk. But it is a LS, so we definitely gonna have to hit them with one of our stickers we made. LS Swap the World guys. You guys are kind of wild. They're loud. Made those. These are great engines, but all the LS fanboys kind of ruined it for some of us. So we always just joke about it pretty hardcore. So don't get any feelings too bad about it. Coyote guys aren't far behind, so we'll be working on something for them guys before long. But yeah, she is definitely coming along. I'm gonna wrap this stuff up first thing in the morning, and then so we're gonna get this thing ripped apart, get all this work, so we can get to the next amount of work. Basically we're gonna mock the engine up. It's already got motor plates and mid plates in the car, for it's been an LS swap before, but we might be moving it around some because this car's going to be a lot lower than it was, and I just don't know. And this is a dry sump now where it was a wet sump, so we might can get the engine lower in the car and back a little bit. So we're going to look at that before we make a decision. We'll probably use what was there just for looks, and then I'll be honest, we're probably going to cut them off and redo them. But yeah, it should be coming along pretty smooth. And then after that, we got to build a turbo kit for it. We're going to build they had a turbo kit on it. It's, like I said, this thing was LS single turbo already. You know, obviously the 10 Soldiers guys ran it with LS single turbo, and then everybody after them did as well. And these guys ran it the same way, but we're just trying to make this as good as possible for the combo we're doing now. So yeah, and she is coming right along. And said the turbo kit was okay that they had on it, and it's fine, it worked fine, but these guys want some nice stuff, so we're going to try to build them a pretty nice turbo kit. I don't think we're going to get crazy. We're not going to do any billet collectors or any of that, I don't think, but I'll talk to them about that and see. But just be kind of a standard form merge, and nice parts, but nothing crazy. So these guys got some other cars, and when you have some other cars to race, it's you don't go buck wild on your little side project. Like I said, this is kind of their no time. I think they're gonna do some front side no preppy kind of stuff with it as well. But yeah, we will check back in on the next one and kind of show you where we are. Like I said, all this will be wrapped up and we'll be working on the next part soon. But here's a little sneak peek of one we got. We built this car completely, and it will be, we're starting to put it together. Came back from the body shop and powder coat, and keep your eye out on it. We'll have some videos up of it before long. Catch you next time.